think when you're in the middle of a transaction is to really, really do become very best friends with the lender. I think that as you work very well with the lender and with the other agent on the other side, everybody I think communicates better. No one's like afraid of anybody finding out anything. And I think that the transaction runs very, very, very smooth.
I'll keep that in mind.
And people are like, I don't know. I feel like agents tend to think like they're against the other agent, or, you know, like you guys are so like, you already come in with communicating with lenders with like a bad sour taste in your mouth from like a transaction before. Um, and then the reality is that everybody here has the exact same goal, which is to get paid at the end, right? Everybody's end goal is let's get this transaction closed so that everybody here is happy. Yet what ends up happening is that you guys are in a battle with the other side of with the other agent in the transaction. You guys are in a battle with the lender because the lender, you know, whatever it may be that you're feeling, and then nobody communicates well, so nobody knows anything about what's going on till it explodes at the end. We should all be friends. All be friends.
True.
You know, when I started branding myself, and I started doing marketing out to the agents heavily, I want to say about 2-3 years ago, I created group chats, right? And the group chats wasn't for everybody to get to know me. It was to bring the realtors together so that you guys learned how to work with each other, stop battling with each other, get to know, you know, everybody in the industry, network better together. And in the sense, if this agent had a listing and this one had a buyer for it, let's work together on it instead of like being in this battle. I never understood why we look at the other agents in a way where like, oh, you know, like they're the enemy, or like we're going into a battlefield, instead of thinking like, you know what, we both have the same common goal, let's go, you know. I know that there's agents where they submit an offer and then the listing agent starts asking them questions or asking them for more paperwork, and they get so offended, and then it becomes like, you know, an attitude issue, or, you know, they no longer feel like they have this animosity towards the other side. And I've never understood why. They're probably just asking you questions in order to protect their client or make sure that the transaction is going to go through. And we're looking at it as, oh, here we go. Oh, there's that other agent again. Why are they asking me for this? You know, like we look at it in such a way where, you know, and guys, we'll all have the same common goal. We're all doing the same exact work. Let's all work together and be friends, right?
That's right.
And I always say, like, never marry your lender. I do believe that not all lenders are created equal. I think that when it comes to lenders, even though they all say that they have the same programs and they can get you the exact, you know, same type of loans as, you know, a different lender, I think that lenders work great with a certain program and they stick to that program. So when you throw them something different, even though their company is able to handle that type of loan, they're just not as good at it. So, you know, get to know your lenders, get to know what they really, really excel at. There's lenders that are amazing at FHAs. You know, every time you have that FHA client, throw it at them. But then you have that lender who works with that good client that has the good credit and the good income and they're great with conventional loans. Throw those clients to that great conventional loan tap a lender. Then you have a lender who's great with foreigners. Throw them your foreigners, you know? Not all lenders are created equal. At least that's what I've seen, you know, in my experience working with you guys, right?
Morning. Good morning, Andreina. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay. I just want to add something. Yesterday, I went to bed thinking about your monsters, about the monsters of our clients. The big majority of people have monsters.
We all have a
Uh,
monster.
it's yes, a little group can apply to a mortgage, have credit, can buy cash. Is
Minimal.
very few people, very small group.
Yes.
And I last night I was surfing the internet searching for alternatives for helping people. Uh, um, Tools like rent to own, like lease to purchase. I just wanted to add that all of us can learn about those tools and offer them and help people move to a house that eventually they buy in the next 5 years with lease contracts, 1 year lease contracts. Uh, those kind of companies approve monthly rent, a monthly rent. So if
Funny
you can
because
pay,
it's so funny that you
if you
mentioned
can pay,
this because yesterday somebody in the group chat actually mentioned about the lease to own programs.
yeah, they're wonderful, and the only choice a lot of people can to think, to plan with the family, think about the future. So we can a lot of people assisting them and as consultants, as a family that right now don't have credit, can't afford mortgage or apply for a mortgage loan, they can apply. Kind of companies evaluate household income uh, and approve them. And that those companies are big and they buy the houses, only houses, single family homes in communities. And it's just the target are families, marriage, marriages. What else? Yes, young families that are starting up that can't buy, and there's a lot of tools. I found two that one was lease purchase. Okay, the company is called Home Partners, Partners of America.
Okay.
Check it out. And rent to own, because lenders and private lenders and banks, I don't know, but companies like those ones are helping, are real helping, give a choice for a lot that can buy a home and don't want to pay rent forever. Okay, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Hey,
you for
but
your most.
of course.
Okay.
I wonder, see, like, we are going through something that I had never seen in this industry in the last 6 years. I mean, we're going through huge sellers market. We have so many buyers out there right now, and they're becoming frustrated because there's no inventory for them, right? And I keep hearing a lot about the lease to buy options because
Yes,
there's no
and
inventory. It's
new
kind of become
constructions, communities. There are a few communities that are the construction right now, new constructions.
Yeah.
That kind of homes apply to the programs.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool. All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing. All right. Let
Okay.
me go over my notes. So today we're going to be speaking about a little bit about farming and FISBOs and all that good stuff, and how to approach them, how to farm. But before we got there, before we began, I wanted to go back into mind setting, right? Mind setting is so important. And even though I had put that for Monday, I wanted to touch up a little bit on the mind setting, only because mind setting needs to be on an everyday basis. If our mind is not set about what our intentions are, and about what it is that we're trying to get to and what our goals are and how we're going to get there, then nothing else really works out. And as I was reading the notes of 2020 and everything that I shared with you guys all of last year, part of what I wanted to touch up on that I didn't yesterday, and I really, really, really should have, was about the employee mentality versus the business owner mentality. And I think that is one of the most important. It is like one of the most important things that you guys need to remember. I feel that as realtors, you guys are so used to, well, everybody is so used to, from when we're very little. We said it the other day with Andy and his habit training. We are accustomed from when we're very little, we go to school, we have to be in school from this time to this time. We know what our work is, we know what our homework is. If we do the work, this is how much, our grades is going to be. And if we don't do the work, we know exactly what grade we're going to get, and we do that from kindergarten all the way to you graduate college. And then once you leave college, we all get a job. And when we get a job, we know we're going to be working from this time to this time. And if we do our work and if we're there from this time to this time, we're going to make this much. And if we don't do the work and we are late or we leave early, this is how much we're going to be getting. We're accustomed to this. And then you guys all go and get your real estate licenses, and you guys are thrown into a world where no one tells you at what time to be at the office. No one tells you from what time to what time must you prospect or farm. No one tells you what time your showing should be at. No one tells you absolutely anything. The office pretty much just sits here waiting for you guys to turn in a transaction or to ask questions. And as much as we sit here and train, we don't make anything mandatory to you. So you guys really need to make that switch from that employee mentality to that I am now a business owner, and whatever I do is going to get me this far. And we need to forget about that instant gratification feeling of like, all right, so if I make 100 calls, I'm going to make, $5,000 today, because it doesn't work like that. We can make 100 calls today, make absolutely zero for the entire month. But if we are consistent and we do everything that we're supposed to be doing in regards to prospecting, everything that we do today, we're going to see in 3 months. So I just wanted to, remind you guys while we are doing, these activities this week, about the mindset, the business mindset. You guys are all business owners now. You guys are all, everything you guys do is literally up to you. Okay. So with that said, farming, a question that I get a lot when it comes to farming is, should I be farming condos or should I be farming houses? Should I be farming, an area that is geographic, or should I be farming a certain niche or profession? What if I want to farm just doctors, right? So I get these questions from you guys on an everyday basis. So what is farming? Farming is sowing the seeds in a certain area. They do not have to be geographic. They could be a niche or a certain profession that you're going to. However, when you do a geographic area, it might be a lot easier than when you do a niche or a profession, because then it is a lot more spread out. When you do a niche or a certain profession, this requires a bit more knowledge. You guys have to know exactly how you're going to get to this certain niche or to this certain professional industry of people, how you're going to get to them, how you're going to work, how you're going to present yourself, and how you are going to become the specialist in real estate for this niche or for this profession. um, I had an agent a few years ago that she started farming without even knowing that she was farming. She lives at the Viscane building over in downtown, and she became best friends with the front desk concierge or admin there, or management team at her apartment building. She gave her a business card. Every time she would be in the elevator, she would give out her business card. She would speak to all her neighbors. Everybody knew her as a realtor. um, Little by little, she started to, the manager used to call her every time somebody used to just walk in and ask if there was an apartment for rent there. If anybody knew a realtor, she would be the one that they would give out her business cards. The great thing about condos is that she got to know what her amenities are because she lived there. She knew what the local hair place was. She knew the local nail place. She knew the restaurants. She knew the neighborhood. She knew all the neighbors, and she got to know absolutely everyone that lived in this building. And that's how she started farming this one condo building. Every time she would be in the pool, she would say hello to all her neighbors and offer her services. Every time she would be at the gym, she would make sure to work in those office spaces or business centers that they have there for the residents, so that people would see her. And she became the number one realtor in that one building because she literally made it a goal to not just get to know everybody, but to make sure everybody knew what she was. Now, because it was a condo, she couldn't go door knocking. She didn't want to send postcards, but she made sure to sit in the lobby at least an hour every day and say hello to everybody and offer her services. She made sure the management knew, the janitorial crew knew who she was, the valet knew who she was. And that's how she started to get to know everybody as a realtor. Now, the same way she did that building, she could have done the buildings next door, but it would have been harder because she cannot go door knocking, right? But every time she would take a stroll and eat at a nearby restaurant or get her hair done at the nearby salon, she would get to know everybody and again offer her services. Where she became really good at was that she started throwing community events. She had a dog, so she started doing dog parties at a local dog park, and she would invite the vendors of the neighborhood, kind of like that restaurant, to cater the event and sell, food to everybody during the event. She invited, different vendors to host a booth or have a space and offer their services there. So the community started identifying her not just as the person who sells Biscayne, but also as the person who would throw these dog events, right? Because she would invite everybody that had a dog to these events. She would post about them on the Nextdoor app and then on Facebook. And she made sure that everyone in that particular area of downtown not just knew who she was, they knew what she did, and that they would recognize her for these events that she was throwing on an every month basis. Now, the dog parties or the dog events that she was doing was not because she wanted to spend more time with her dog. It was because it was the best way for her to get the community together, for everybody to have a good time, and for her to be able to network with more neighbors and introduce herself as their local realtor. Okay, farming. Farming is not just about door knocking. There's so many things that you can do in regards when it comes to farming. You could do door to door. You could do phone calls, introduce yourself as a neighbor or a local realtor, and if you know, introduce your services. You could send direct mail. You can host open houses, and if you cannot host an open house because you don't have a house listed, you should be showing up to all the open houses that pop up in that neighborhood. When you go to open houses, you get to not only know the other realtors that work in the area, you also get to know the floor plans and the type of properties that are being offered in the area that you want to work at, right? The floor plans, square footage, number of rooms, you get to know the layouts, who was the builder of those properties. You should also be throwing community events, just like this one realtor did. And you should be able to be a part of fundraisers that occur in that area, okay? Now, every time that I speak to you guys about farming, I always tell you guys to pick 3 areas that you think that you would be good at farming. And write down why these areas would be good to farm, and make a plan of in what way can I farm these neighborhoods? In what way can I get to know these areas? Jaime, I see that you have your hand raised. Talk to me.
Hi, Andrina. Good morning. I
Good
have a
morning.
question regarding those open houses.
Yeah.
How do we know there are open houses in our neighborhood? Where do we get that information?
Very good question. So your MLS actually shows you, did you guys know that your MLS shows you open houses? Let me see if I can pop it up over here for you. I wasn't signed into the MLS, so give me 1 second. 4. Share screen. Do you guys see my screen? All right.
Yes.
So when you guys go on the search button, you guys have over here a button that's called open house. And you guys are able to search if you guys want brokers open, if you want the one that is open to the public, or virtual ones. These are 2 new options. Now, every open house that goes on the MLS also goes to a website that is called South Florida. Hold on, I forgot the name. It's South Florida openhousesearch.com. And you guys are able to use this one as well. This one, this website is open to the public. So anybody can search for open houses on here too. And if I'm not mistaken, the open houses that go on Zillow are syndicated to somewhere else as well. I'm not sure if they syndicate to this website or not, but this is a great website that you guys can go on here or even on the MLS and check out when your open houses are. I will say open houses is how I started to get to know a lot of the realtors when I first started working in this business. So for those of you who don't know, I am not a realtor. I'm not licensed. I've never wanted my license. While everybody is concentrated and thinking about their production, I am also thinking about how to grow your production, right? But when I first started in this business, I used to work in Key Biscayne. And in Key Biscayne, those agents, had been working for over 30 years in that office. They knew so much more than me. Key Biscayne is a particular monster all on its own, though. So every single Wednesday from 10 in the morning all the way to 12, no, just kidding. They were from 12 to 2, I think it was. That's, I believe, 33149. Let's do both types of open houses, search. They don't have any coming up. But if I'm not mistaken, Key Biscayne was every Wednesday from 12 to 2 or from, 12 to 1 or something like that. And we had a golf cart in our office and we used to jump on that golf cart and we used to hit up every single open house that Key Biscayne was throwing. And that's how I got to know all the realtors in the area. I got to know, Key Biscayne is a funny island. So I got to know, on this side is the houses, on this side is the condos. I got to know floor plans for the condos, the condo names. I got to know what every complex, how many buildings were in each. And I got to know it so well because I worked there, because I was going every single Wednesday. So when you guys are farming an area, it is so important for you guys to know the same thing. When I got to Brickell, it is filled with condos. It is impossible to get to know every single, condo that is that is in Brickell. So and Brickell never had open houses. It was like insane. I was so used to this small little island that was like by clockwork every single week, same time, like the whole 9 yards. And then I got to Brickell and it was like, no, we don't do open houses here. No, we don't do this. So the way that I got to know Brickell was literally walking to all the new construction. Once a week I would go to a brand new building and I would get to know, who the in-houses were, how many square footage, what their price points were, so that I used to be able to tell the realtors what was around us. But that is the same thing that you guys should be doing when you guys are farming an area. If you guys are going to be farming an area and you guys are going to be working an area very well, first thing that I would say to do is go to your open houses. Get to know the managers of those buildings. Get to know the neighborhoods, the restaurants around there. Be like a regular at that, Starbucks in that corner, so that you get to know everybody that goes in there. Start doing fundraisers in that area. Toy drives on the holidays. Feed the needy. Be that one person that becomes like that go-to, not just for real estate purposes, but that go-to, you should be that one, oh man, where's that restaurant that's really good in that area that you work at? Or, you would be that one person that might know like the nail place or the hair place, in that area, because you're the one who lives there. You're the one hosting, community events. You're getting to know everybody. I've always said through the pandemic, while everybody was like deadly afraid of seeing people and going door knocking, during the pandemic, I told you guys, you know what? Door knock and get to know your neighbors and get everybody's phone number. Do a WhatsApp of your community, and you can start it as simple as, we want to do WhatsApp just in case of an emergency or so that we can all be connected, to see what's going on in our community. And in that sense, you will have every single one of your neighbors' phone numbers. You can start putting in there your community events that you're throwing. You guys can start hosting fundraisers with your community. You guys can start putting in there when that restaurant opens up or when that restaurant closes or when that event's gonna be. And you will become the go-to when it comes to things like market reports and our home values, and they will go to you when they need a realtor, because you will be that specialist that you've taught them that you are. Does that make sense? Maybe a little. Farming is the fastest way to creating a successful business. I'm going to repeat that again. Farming is the fastest way to creating a successful business. We are seeing it right now. Okay, we are working in a hot seller's market. Okay, if you are working with buyers, I am pretty sure that you have felt frustrated with your buyers. I'm pretty sure you guys have stood in line at open houses or even at showings. I had a realtor show up to a showing where he had confirmed a showing appointment, and there was 15 cars waiting to show this property too. It wasn't even open house. It wasn't even on the weekend. It was like a random Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like the only time his client could go. So it wasn't like the listing agent told him what time to be there. No, we are seeing that we are working with buyers right now, our buyers may be frustrated, and so are you guys, because there's no inventory. So who is controlling our market? I've been saying this since May of 2020 or June of 2020. Who's controlling our market? Our listing agents. And our listing agents who are doing extremely well in this market are those who took the time before 2020 to farm, get to know their neighborhoods, and start controlling their market with their sellers. Right now, if you're a listing agent, you have an upper hand. The things I'm seeing of listing agents that are doing currently is insane. It's insane. I'm seeing even listing agents offer a 2.5 commission, and they're getting a 3.5 commission as a listing agent. It is insanity what I'm seeing out there of the listing agents do, but they're controlling it because they're the ones sitting in the listing presentations and speaking to the clients, and they're the ones that are negotiating the commissions for you guys who might be working with your buyers. So in order to control this market, we must become listing agent, and we have to start farming our areas. I'm going to repeat this again. Farming is the fastest way to creating a successful business. And I'm not saying that we should stop working with buyers. In the contrary, I do believe that a successful realtor does both. There are listing agents and there's buyer's agents, right? And they attract both because the same way that you're selling this property, the last seller gave you a referral to work with their brother who's buying a property, right? Any questions regarding farming? Who has done successful farming in the past? How many of you guys have gone door knocking or postcards or, talk to me? Anyone? No? Yvonne's shaking her head like, nope, not me. Right? But I will say, you guys. Yes.
I've been a realtor for almost 30 years and I've never done it.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so guilty. I've never farmed.
Why not?
I don't know.
What's the monster? Who's the monster that does not allow you to farm?
I know. The monster is real.
The monster is real.
Yes, but I do plan to change that because I see your point. It is the best way, especially in today's market. That's a seller's market. There's no other way to go.
But even in a buyer's market, if you are the listing agent, right? If you're the listing agent, It's a for sure that somebody is going to come and show your property, and all you did was place it on the MLS, right? Farming is the fastest way of creating a successful business. I need to stress this out to you guys. Get to know your communities. There a lot of the top producers that we like to mimic or see. Mute everybody. A lot of the, you know, top producing realtors that you guys might be following on Instagram and might want to mimic, or, you know, the $1 million agents that from Miami. I mean, that show hasn't been around in a while here in Miami, but they did it in Miami at some point, right? And all those listing agents are known for a certain area or a certain neighborhood, and that's, you know, where they eat, that's where they run, that's where they go work out, that's where they do their nails, their hair, whatever it may be, but they became the specialist of that one area. I go back to Riley Smith, right? He has a team, he's a team leader. They work the Coconut Grove area, and every time they do a video or they do a post, it's about Coconut Grove. It's about the Coconut Grove restaurants, about the Coconut Grove architecture, about the Coconut Grove, wherever it is. If you guys follow him on Instagram, all they speak about, it's about Coconut Grove. They won't speak to you about the beach. They won't speak to you about, you know, Aventura or Sunny Isles. They will speak to you only about Coconut Grove. And that is what made Riley extremely successful. He got to Coconut Grove. He had absolutely no knowledge. He had grown up in that area his entire life. That's all he knew. So therefore, he started speaking about where he grew up and where it was that he wanted to work. And he became one of the most successful agents here in Miami-Dade. And all it took was that Coconut Grove area. Farming works. But you have to, again, the word from yesterday, you have to be consistent about what you do, and you have to do it with intentions, okay? When I started branding myself a few years ago, if you guys look at my Instagram, I've been really bad at it 2021, by the way, so don't look at it too hard. I think I haven't posted in a little while, but if you look at my Instagram, one, I'm psychotic. I have control issues. We all know this, right? Everything has to be in a certain pattern. So I have like family post, family, and then it's like video post, video, you know, like I have it all in a pattern. But my pattern all kind of like comes together because I speak mostly about real estate or motivation or working or, you know, how to get there. Even though I'm posting a picture of my family, I will speak about, you know, something motivational or something that has to do with work. And even though I'm posting a video about real estate, I might be talking about brokers LLC. You know, everything kind of goes hand in hand. And if you guys are going to start farming, it is not just about the door knocking and getting to know your neighbors. It's about transmitting that channel or that voice into your social media and speaking about those, you know, I went to eat at this brand new restaurant that's in our area, and I went here, and there's a new event that's coming up, and it's about speaking in regards to this section of Miami-Dade that you guys want to work at, you know, consistently, but with intentions, right? FSBOs. Let's talk about FSBOs. Are they also a big monster for you guys, FSBOs?
Excuse me. So,
Yes.
Andreina, I want to add something for the about farming. I understand and I agree that farming is being in touch, knowing is telephone, is talking to people, but
yes.
is digital marketing, SEO, search engine optimization include in farming?
Is the what? I'm sorry.
search engine optimization. When people want a house, and they know where they want it, and they know how they want it, and they Google it,
Yes.
and there are trillions of realtors, and the portfolio is one, and all of us offer same properties, but if you know and work in search engine optimization tools in Google My Business or Google My Business keywords and Facebook ads and marketplace in Facebook, and you have to be very specific because people are very specific. I want a house in that area in Coconut Grove with filters, and the big part of businesses are doing that way today. You Farming is the fastest way to create a successful business.
Yes.
Yes, but digital must be included there in
I'm not
farming.
taking away your digital. I'm not taking away your social media. I'm not taking away your ads. I'm not taking away, I'm not
Okay,
taking away
because
technology or the future. Does that make sense? What I am saying to you guys is that we have forgotten to do it the old school way. Does that
okay,
make
yeah,
sense? Because we
yeah,
have concentrated so much on
yeah.
thinking, oh, but I have all
But
these tools and all this technology and I have all these things that we forgot to even do both. But I'm not taking away your ads. I'm not taking away if you guys are paying for your leads, if you guys are doing, whatever it is that you guys are doing, if it's
okay,
working for you, do it.
lead
But
generation,
yes,
lead generation, all sources for lead generations
yes,
are in that group of farming.
yes.
Okay,
But
okay.
I want you to remember something. Most of the time when we are doing either Google ads, Facebook ads, paying for Zillow leads, realtor leads, whatever leads that, or wherever it is that we're paying for, usually, my throat is so dry. Usually what we are, sorry about that. I forgot I have water here. Most of the time that attracts us with more buyers. And those buyers might be in absolutely anywhere in Miami, not necessarily in that farming area you guys want to concentrate and work on. So I do want you guys to continue to, do your thing when it comes to your Google ads and everything, but but farm and cultivate excuse me, a certain area that gets to know you personally instead of just you receiving a name and a phone number and an email that you now need to go and attack. I want you to attack a whole group of people or a whole specific area and have them get to know you on a personal basis, because that's how you're going to be attracting your sellers for that one area that you guys want to work in. Does that make sense? Now, the same way I say that is the same way that I say, not just pick 3 areas that you think are going to be a great farming area. You guys should be doing your market reports in these areas to see if these areas move, to see if these areas are even worth farming. Because maybe you guys live, maybe you guys want to attack your neighborhood and you guys want to work in your neighborhood, but maybe your neighborhood is one that might not move at all. Maybe the people that have been living there have been there for 60 years and is not ready to let go. Maybe it's been the exact same, group of neighbors for the last 90 years and it just gets passed down in generation. Whatever it may be, I've seen it all. Just make sure that whatever areas you guys pick, do your market reports, do your hot sheets, get to know the movement that's happening in your specific farming areas, and get to know who these people are, who's living there. You guys should have reports from Remind letting you know who has mortgages, who doesn't have mortgages, how many of them have equity, how much equity they have, how long have they been living there. So you get to know your neighbors, not just by their name, not just as if they could be a hot lead, but get to know, all right, well, this person has good equity. They've been living there only 5 years. They might not be ready to part. Their ages are, 30 and 40. Maybe with that equity, we can pull it out and then get them a second property. Now they can have rental income. Make a plan for your farming areas. Make a plan for all the people that live there based on their data on what they can do with it. Have a plan ready for them. You're going to be like the crazy stalker who knows who has equity and who doesn't and how many mortgages they have. But that's how you make a really, really good plan for people you've never even met. So when you meet them, you know exactly what you can do with them. Does that make sense? Very cool.
Andreina,
yes.
But I don't believe, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in postcards or sometimes in advertising in magazines, because I receive a lot of postcards or magazines in my mail, and I see a lot of realtors. And in this case, I believe if I was this person who is looking for a realtor, maybe I could call a realtor, somebody referred to me, or most of the people goes into Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com and see a property, and they believe that the realtor that they see beside the picture is the one that has the listing, and they call him. So this is one of the reasons why.
There's people who love postcards and there's people who hate them, right? I've always thought if you're going to send out a postcard, it shouldn't just be your information. I would do either the market report there of the last 6 months, or I would do a property values. I would send them something with knowledge. Doug and Christian, again, Key Biscayne, used to do something amazing. For the last 10 years, they used to send out quarterly market reports to everybody in Key Colony. And it used to bring them back a lot of business, because the people who used to receive that pamphlet, and I mean, it was a printout. It was a very well done type of flyer with information about Key Biscayne, and but it had so much knowledge in there that people would call them and say, hey, you send me this market report, can you explain it to me? I might be looking into selling. I think that if you just send your picture and it's just like a postcard with your phone number, most of the time they grab it and throw it away. I'm a big believer of sending on knowledge. Now, there's people who love postcards and there's people who hate the postcards. If you are living in your farming area, right, and you don't want to send out a postcard, don't send it out, but make sure that you do something else to get you known, so that people can have your phone number in their hands when they need it, so that when they do need a realtor, the first person they think of is of Yvonne. I don't care how you guys decide to reach out to your areas, just make sure that everybody gets to know you.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to add something there. I understand. The concept is trying to be locally, because you locally can know the detail about neighbors. But the work day, and more with the pandemic, the work is a big dark room, and people are working with lanterns. And what decides what the people see when they light their lanterns? In internet, in real estate, in everything, search engine optimization. That would be very nice if we can, I don't know if in this course, but, or another course for realtors, because in reality, search SEO is very, very, very important today in the world. And can I share with you, all of you here, a link in Zoom? I don't know.
Sure,
Oh
you
yeah,
can put it in the
yeah.
chat.
If you can share it to all. This is a page I just found with engine optimization. Uh, I don't know. Maybe all of us can read about it. If we can add something here in the chapter of farming, because this is the way the world is farming today. Not only you can be today, you can be local in the world.
Correct.
You can know because the details are the people are searching. I want a housing group and this kind of whatever with a zip code, with the name of the street, um, and if you know how to work with search engine optimization, it's not just Google Ads. It's not that. Is the power of engine that they have, that when the people some very specific, you are in the list, in the 10 first offers, and you can post your links using that tools. And it's very, 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 very powerful and efficient today.
Correct.
Just wanted to add that.
But without taking away that human interaction is also very important. You know, if I'm looking up a realtor or if I'm looking for an attorney, I am the first one to say I will Google, you know, whoever it is that I'm looking for. But then right after that, I need to have a conversation with them. And if if I'm speaking to, let's say I was a normal, you know, person that didn't know real estate, and I'm looking for a realtor in a certain area or a certain neighborhood, and I start asking certain questions, if they don't know those answers, I will very well know, you know what, they don't know this certain area that I'm looking for. You know, they're just coming up in the search engine as a realtor, but not necessarily that's, you know, specific location that I am searching for. So it doesn't take away from get to know your farming areas, work your areas well, get to know absolutely everything in a specific area. And when you do that, you know, search optimization, make sure that it is based on that area that you guys want to farm, you guys want to work with, and you guys want to grow in. So that when you guys are asked questions in regards to a certain area, you guys know how to answer them. And it's not just another realtor, you know, in the list of the 60,000 that we have in Miami-Dade County. All right, so FSBOs. How many of you guys work FSBOs for sell by owners? How many of you guys are approaching them or working them, cold calling them? Anyone? I like how everybody stays super quiet. This is why I can no longer breathe. I have no more throat. All I do is talk. You guys like for me to speak all day. FSBOs. Right now, we have more FSBOs than ever before. They have more technology and same knowledge and base tools as realtors have. Yet 80% still end up listing with an agent. Does that make sense? I'm going to repeat that. FSBOs right now we have more FSBOs than ever before. they have more technology than before, and they have the same knowledge and base tools. They have more technology and same knowledge as we do, as well as base tools, yet 80% of FSBOs end up listing with an agent. 80% still end up listing with an agent. These are the things that FSBO said that they had the most difficulties with. 15% said that the most difficult thing was getting the right price. 12% of them said that the most difficult thing was the paperwork, understanding it and performing it. 13% of FSBOs said that the most difficult thing was selling within a time frame. And 9% of them said that preparing and fixing their home for sale is what was most difficult. Why is this information important? Because you guys should be creating a marketing plan based on their needs. Okay? Why is it important to create a marketing plan based on their needs? Because then you know exactly what it is that they are going to need a realtor for. Getting the right price, getting the paperwork together, and selling within the time frame. Does that make sense? That was what they found to be the most difficult. 20% of FSBOs are successful. 80% ended up listing. Weeks to sale, it was 4 weeks to sale after they listed. They said that the number of agents calling were way too many, and the reason why they ended up listing was because agents followed up. And we spoke about following up yesterday. Following up works. I wrote down here what not to do. What not to do when you guys are going to go after the FSBOs. Everyone is calling FSBOs with the exact same script, yet very few are successful. Very few are successful. Buyowner.com hired a realtor to sell his home, yet he goes after FSBOs to list their properties on his website. Okay? 80% of FSBOs hire a realtor. And I literally wrote this 80% all over my notes. There is an opportunity with FSBOs because so many do list with an agent. In order to work with the FSBOs, you must have a system. You have to offer them something of value. You guys have to have direct responses with them. You have to contact them at least 12 times. Remember yesterday what we said about the following up? You have to contact them at least 12 times for a period of at least 3 months. Does that make sense? Then over here it says, forms of contacting a FSBO. Voicemails. Voicemails right now, it's so funny because when I used to teach cold calling, I used to tell them, call, don't leave a voicemail, call right back again, do not leave a voicemail, send a text message. And here in all the notes that I did in order to create this course for you guys, it was, if you're gonna do a voicemail, do voicemail drops. I want you guys to write down and research voicemail drop providers. Okay, if you guys have KV Core, I believe KV Core does voicemail drops. Because when you receive a voicemail out of nowhere from a phone number that you don't know and your phone doesn't even ring, I am guilty of going straight to my phone and checking out where that voicemail came from. What does this voicemail say? So it's become extremely useful in our industry to use the voicemail drops. So find out who your voicemail drop providers are. Again, if you have KV Core, I believe KV Core does it. So forms of contact, voicemails, text messages, and voice calls, okay? I also wrote down here snail mail, personal visit, and email. I will say this, if you guys see a FSBO sign out, I would knock on their door. I would tell them to show me their property. And I would introduce myself as a realtor, and I would give them my market report, and I would give them a home value. I would have some sort of, you know, some sort of knowledge that I would give to them absolutely for free. I would even offer them a free open house, and I would tell them, listen, if anybody comes into the open house and wants to buy your house, I won't charge you anything if you don't want me to prepare the documents for you, right? Now, anybody else that comes into that open house that does not buy that house, all those buyers belong to you guys, right? You guys just did an open house. It doesn't cost you much, just, you know, water bottle and a few balloons outside, right? But I would be calling every FSBO, I would be knocking on their door, and I would be doing open houses every single weekend, especially in this market. I would be doing open houses for free for FSBOs, you know, without needing anything. Based on these notes, 12% said that the paperwork was difficult. The reason for that is because they don't have access to your FAR forms the way you do, because they're not members of NAR. So when they do have a buyer, and that buyer is ready to submit an offer, and they don't have an agent, and your FSBO doesn't want to pay for a commission, yet you threw them a free open house, guess who they're going to ask for to assist them with the paperwork? So be present. Give something for free. Psychology says that they're going to feel like they're going to owe you something. Give them free open houses to every FSBO that you see on the street. Okay? Text messages. We read it immediately. How many of you guys read your text messages immediately? I mean, if you guys know me, my phone is like always ringing, my phone's, so if I don't answer you right away, I promise you, give me about an hour or so. I might be doing a Zoom, but I will get to every single text message every single day. My voicemails, there's times that I listen to them, there's times that I don't, depending on who left me that voicemail. But my text messages, WhatsApp, no matter which way you're writing to me, I promise you I'm reading it. I wrote down here DNC list, the do not call list. The do not call list. How do you answer when you're calling, you know, when you're doing a cold call and they might be on the list and they tell you, hey, I am in the do not call list. You very simple. You just be very respectful and you say, oh man, I don't know how you got on my list, but I'll remove you right away. You know, don't make a big deal about it. You had no idea, just handle it very smoothly. There are different websites and different providers that sell you the FSBO list for you guys to be cold calling them. I will say this, a lot of brokerages out there give out those lists to like everyone, and everyone's calling them. And you have the Mike Ferry agents who are calling from 7 in the morning to 9 in the morning, and then they're calling again from 4 in the afternoon all the way to 7 o'clock at night, these FSBOs. Again, if I were you guys and I wanted FSBOs, I'd knock on the door and offer them free open houses. For the FSBOs, ask the right questions. Motivation. Find out what their motivation of selling is. Why did you choose to sell your property? What is their motivation? Is it that they need the money? Is it that they want to move? Is it that they've outgrown the space? They need to downgrade, upgrade, whatever it is. Find out what their motivation is. Does that make sense? Any questions? Any comments you guys want to make regarding FSBOs? Your expired listings. Are any of you guys working expired listings at all? Leticia? No? Steve?
I was going to ask you a question about the FSBO. Do they have to, during an open house, do they have to be in the MLS or just anybody there?
Look, you're not supposed to put an open house on the MLS for a property that is obviously not active, but you can always go ahead and put up signs that say open house and put it up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and throw yourself a big open house there. In the market that we're living in right now, I promise you, you're gonna have a line of cars. For my dad's property, I don't, some of you guys heard that I sold my parents' house recently. Back in December, we closed on it. I didn't want to put it on the MLS at first. I said, you know what, let's play with the market. Let's do a for sale by owner at first and see what happens. And we threw an open house. We put our open house up on Zillow, believe it or not, the big monster for real estate. And that weekend we had over 40 people show up, and it wasn't on the MLS. It was not an active listing. Obviously we were in this market because it was like back in November. But we had over 40 families show up Saturday and Sunday to view my parents' house. We were only on the market for, I threw it on that open house. I should have waited a little bit longer from when I posted it on the MLS, because I threw that big open house Saturday and Sunday. Monday morning, I posted it on the MLS. And the very next day I had offers from people who had seen it at the open house. I didn't get to show it. I didn't really get to show it much from the MLS people asking to show, because I already had offers. I had an offer from the very first person who went to go see that property. But again, open houses work. Open houses work. People are showing up. When it's a buyer's market, I will tell you, okay, you're going to have to do a little bit more than just, put up a sign outside. But right now on a hot seller's market, everyone's going to show up to that property. Knock on those FSBO's doors and tell them, I want to throw you a free open house. Get to know every single buyer that's coming in. They're all frustrated. They haven't been able to buy. Get to know every single one of them. Any questions? Any comments, anything? All right, so expired listings. I didn't write much in this section of notes, to be honest with you. I want you guys to know that the number one reason why a listing expires is mainly price. Is usually overpriced when they don't sell, or when nobody shows up to see them. It's overpriced. So one is understanding why that expired listing became expired. Is it a price? Is it the condition of the property? Is it the type of marketing that that agent did, or is it accessibility? You also need to understand a seller's attitude. Are they discouraged and ready to give up? Have they lost faith in salespeople? Are they curious of why it did not sell? And how much more are they motivated now? Are they still motivated to sell or not? It's extremely important when it comes to the expired, is just pretty much understanding the listing, and then understanding the seller that you have and how they're feeling. Okay. Now, when it comes to the whole cold calling of FSBOs and expired, I will say that you have to ask the right questions at your first meeting. You need to have your marketing game in your hands. And you have to, again, you have to ask the right questions. I have seen agents that create pamphlets, right, with different information about who they are and their bio, and they have their pretty picture on there. And apart from having their pretty picture on it, they speak a little bit about the type of marketing that they do to properties that they end up listing, right? They do kind of like a pre-listing packet, and that pre-listing packet is just it qualifies the realtor. Who is that realtor? What areas they work in? It shows, you know, how many properties they have sold. And usually they grab that pre-listing packet and they send it. They either drop it off or send it by mail the day before or the night before the appointment for that listing presentation they're going to do. So this is not a listing presentation. There's a pre-listing packet. In this pre-listing packet, they send comps, they send a net sheet, they send the listing agreement and seller's disclosures. Okay. This is not actually, I'm reading my notes. This is not a good tool to send to a FISBO or expired. This actually, if you're going to be getting, you know, a pre-listing appointment, do not send pricing. In the appointment, do the listing presentation. In the listing presentation, you will have the price. So I guess what you do send to the FISBOs and expired is kind of like a pre-listing packet of just what qualifies you as a realtor. And then in the listing presentation is where they will do the comps, the net sheets, listing agreements, and seller's disclosures. Okay, have you guys seen the listing presentation that we have here at Brokers? Leticia says yes. So for you guys that don't know,
no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
No.
All right, give me 1 second. For those of you guys who don't know, on our members site, we have, are you not popping up? In our desk support, we actually have a listing presentation that you guys can mold and change and use. Where is it? Listing presentation. Maybe it's not working. Why are we not working today? Materials. For some reason, this is not working out for me. Hold on. Let me see if it opens up on Chrome. All right, I don't know why it's not working today. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna just get frustrated today. I believe I had it in here. Hold on. So for some reason, I don't have it saved on my laptop, and I don't know why it's not working, but I'm gonna make sure that this thing works by the end of the day. So I will let you guys know as soon as it is back up and running. I'll let Julieta know, but get to know the listing presentation once it's up and running, and make sure that you guys have it ready for when you guys do have when you guys do have a seller that you guys can do a presentation for. You guys should be practicing your listing presentations at home. You guys can come in here into the office and practice you know, on how to do your listing presentations. I have a new message down here. I just sent you the one I made based on the one from brokers. Did you send it to my email, Natalia? Perfect. Give me 1 second. Awesome. All right, I'm downloading. Give me one moment. All right, guys. So this one is Natalia's. And she created her listing. You know, she's like the #1 student because she's a brand new realtor, and she has more or less created this listing presentation based on the one that we had up online, right? But basically, the listing presentation that we created is pretty simple because, you know, it speaks about your recent sales. And when you do the recent sales, if you have done sales in the area of that, of where that property is located that you're doing a listing presentation at, make sure that you have, you know, those properties in here. You know, it doesn't have to be the one that you did last month, but maybe the one that you completed that is in that area. So it does make you look like you've worked in that area in the past. Testimonials. Guys, do not be afraid of asking for Google reviews or Yelp reviews. If you guys have been a part of my masterminds in the past, I've told all of you guys to register up in Google. Okay. If you're registered in Google, do not be afraid of asking for people to review you and put your testimonials here. Do not be afraid of asking people who you've worked with to review you. Your marketing plan. Importance of internet search, online marketing. So this is basically your email campaigns, listing syndication. So I actually have a paper somewhere. I'm gonna bring it. I believe I have it at home. That see, like this says 500 websites around the world. I believe that if you are part of the Miami board, you actually show up on a lot more websites than 500. Every time you list a property. Your for sale signs if they wanted, open houses, printed material, very nice. So there's a listing presentation. Just make sure you get to know it. You know every single page that's on here. And when you guys show up, you guys give them the listing presentation and speak about every single thing that's on here. This pre-inspection is gold. If you're ever working with sellers, tell them to do a pre-inspection. You guys know exactly what you guys are going to be speaking to your buyer's agent about. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Natalia, for sharing. But guys, as soon as it's up and running, and I'm going to make sure it's up and running today, I want you guys to go ahead and download those listing presentations, get to know that listing presentation, tweak it, change it. It's normally orange. So Natalia obviously tweaked it to make it her own with the blue. Just make sure you guys do the same, okay? Get to know your listing presentation, get to know how to present it, get to know it well, and start tweaking it and make it your own and change it every single time you have a new listing presentation to get to. Make sense, more or less?
Andreina, I also have that one saved on my computer. Do you want me to send it to you?
No, because I'm gonna make sure it's up and running today. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Those are pretty much my notes for today, guys. Anybody want to talk to me about what they're working on? Anything you guys are doing? I like how you guys have me speaking the whole time.
Hello. It's very interesting about the farming because, for example, this month I have 4 neighbors that they move out to other condo, and I didn't know the people, and it's a closed condo, and I didn't did my farming, and I was like, I feel guilty because I said, if I only give one business card, mine, maybe the history will change. One of them, I give it to him, my business card, and I spoke with him, but he say, it's my auntie, I don't wanna cheat on her. But I say, oh my God, what important is farming in the area that you live, at least in the area that you live. And I was hearing about this history about the girl who has a dog. And I say, when I go out with my dog, I find clients. It's funny because kids love dogs. And I say to the father, okay, this is my business card. Maybe you will move soon, take my business card. And sometimes we miss this point. Sometimes I go out without my business card, and we lose opportunity. Only.
And it happens to us too. I promise you, because you guys stop reminding them that you guys are realtors. You guys forget to continuously remind people you guys are realtors. But now imagine if you would have farmed, you could have had 4 people that you would have moved out of your condos.
Yes, and it is true. And I would like to know how make the flyers and send to the people, because I invest in Facebook, Instagram, sorry, and realtor.com for get leads. But if I go and put it my business card in the condo, maybe I don't spend nothing, and I have 4 clients.
Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly. Now, Gloria's asking, where do I get my market reports from? That is one of the things that we're going to be learning about tomorrow when we do the systems. I get them from the MLS. Now, I gather the data from the MLS, and then I send it over to our marketing department. And they do very beautiful flyers for us. And those are the ones that I share with you guys on a monthly basis, which today I should be doing the market reports for February. So, I mean, for January, sorry about that. But yes, I do get them from the MLS. Any questions in regards to market reports, Gloria?
And you speak about the open houses. I would like to know how do an open houses. I don't know if you will touch in the 3rd or 4th day the open houses, but I would like to know, because I know that if I do open houses without listing, because I don't have listing yet, I can maybe approach any client that go and see this property.
All right, so how do you do an open house without a listing? You are able to ask other realtors and find out if they will be willing to allow you to host open houses in their listing. Now, here's what's happening. Unfortunately, because it is a hot seller's market, most agents will tell you that they do not want you to host their open houses. And the reason for that is because they are so moving right now. Open houses are so crazy right now that they are getting to know everybody else that's coming in, okay? So most likely agents will be saying no if you want to host their open houses during these times. If you know an agent in particular, if you become friends with an agent, you are able to ask that friend, if you know they have a listing, if you can host an open house together, okay? The way that I did my parents was very simple. We put up a sign right in front of the door. We put signs from the outside of the neighborhood leading into the house. We had balloons outside, and I had water. I literally had sparkling water, and I had flat water. And my inspector friend brought pastelitos. Okay, that's it. People come in, They toured the house. I walked behind them. I let them know what the house was all about, and then they would walk right back out. There's agents that like for many people to be inside the house at the same time, and then there's agents that do not allow the next group of people in until this one leaves. So, you know, right now in these crazy times, that's why you see a lot of lines for open houses, because, you know, especially with COVID, no one's allowing anybody in, you know, 2 families at a time. They're doing 1 at a time. Does that make sense?
Yes, in the other company, I had a coworker that she told me, if you want, do the open house. But my other mentor, he sent me like 6-page, like read, and if you like it, and I was like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. And you say only, what is the outside side?
Yeah, no, don't go crazy with the open houses. Especially right now, in such a hot seller's market, you don't have to go crazy. You really don't. People are not in the house for very long because there's lines outside. So just make sure that you have water for everybody. Make sure that, you know, don't touch the refrigerator because that belongs to the seller. So just have water on a table that people can just grab, pick up, and go. And just set up your open house signs strategically so that when people are outside of the neighborhood, they can see them and it leads them back into the house. We don't need 6 pages to do open houses.
But I get scared, and she create a monster fear of because I say, no, I don't want to do this a lot of job. And only you say, balloons, what? And
listen,
for this reason,
simplicity is easier. It
yes,
works.
yes, that is true. I want to start doing my signs, and after that, I will ask someone to help me with doing an open house. I spoke with Guillermo, and
Yes.
I told him we want to find a listing and see if we can do an open house.
Listen,
To be
and I used to tell you guys, I used to tell the realtors in 2018 and 2019, call a lender, make them go ahead and pay for all those waters and for the pastelitos, and you guys just sit there and do the open house. Like, just simple, just be very, very simple. I've seen even inspectors host open houses for you guys and provide the food and the waters. Has the properties become more high-end, then you start seeing different types of open houses. In Key Biscayne, they used to cater sushi and, you know, wine and or the champagne. But in this hot sellers market, there's no need for any of that. Just be as simple as possible. There's lines like Gloria mentioned. Gloria said that she's been to several open houses in Palm Beach. There's a river of people at the same time. They say it's by appointment only when you show up, but it is packed. I'm telling you, right now, if you're doing open houses, it should be to get the name of the buyers that come in without realtors, because it is madness out there. Madness. Any questions? Any other comments we want to go ahead and add?
Thank you.
Beautiful. Then with that said, I will let you guys go. Tomorrow we'll work on systems. Do you guys have anything in particular that you guys want to go ahead and learn in regards to certain systems, or anything in particular you guys, you know, MLS, KV Core, .loop, anything in particular? Yes, Francisco.
Maybe there are tools. Thinking about what's tools like Canva.
Tools like Canva. Okay, we can touch up on
Canva to design. It's very useful.
Yes.
Make flyers, things, put your logo, and then do farming in the neighborhood. But you can differentiate yourself very, very, very well with that.
All right, we'll touch up on Canva. Very cool.
Okay.
Adriana.
Yes.
Hi. MLS, you know, I would like to learn how to do, what do you call the emails, like automatic emails, and what exactly I have to put there.
I'm going to touch up on that tomorrow on the MLS. I want to do hot sheets and market reports tomorrow as well. So if for any reason, and I do like showing you guys this, let me share my screen. No, that's not that. Something. I do want to touch up on. Where is
Rocio? Okay. Andre, here has KB Core.
Yes, we're gonna touch up a little bit on KV Core.
No, yeah, but here in the group, all of the students present today have KB Core?
Not all of them.
Not all of them, okay.
But I'll touch up a little bit on it. I'll start with.
Yeah, it's the best CRM I know.
Me too. All right.
Okay.
So in our members side, I have created MLS webinars. I don't know if you've seen, but these I've created myself over the years. I think these are probably like 3 years old, maybe a little bit longer. But if you want to learn really quick on auto send emails, there is an actual one here for you, maybe. How to send an auto.
I see.
Yeah, they're only like 1 minute to 3 minutes long, but they have so many, you know, they're all they're all broken down on specific topics. So that might also help you out, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. But I'll go over it tomorrow through the MLS class. So don't feel like, you know, I'm sending you to a webinar. I'm gonna go over the MLS tomorrow so we can work on it very great. I want to touch up on Remind as well, since it's an amazing farming tool. But if I don't touch up on anything, and I might have a you know, a webinar that you guys can touch up on, please do watch it, okay? All right, so with that said, hold on one last email, Francisco wrote Canva. I'll touch up on Canva. I've posted a few flyers on Canva for you guys. So that's a great tool for brokers. All right, so with that said, if there's a question,
Okay, no?
You have a question?
No. Thank you very much, Andreina, for today.
Welcome, guys. All right, guys.
Okay.
Have a great
Get well, take care, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Likewise. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye.